Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Destiny. I'm Death from Above. Today, I got a gun that I may have looked at before, but I don't really ever remember paying any attention to until I was paying attention to Macius Sean streaming the other day. I was like, that gun looks freaking sweet. So we're going to talk about the Wounded, the Future War Cult Scout Rifle, and there's specific reasons why, and we're going to do that. So, that sounds like a good gun. It sounds like fun. Let's get to it. So the Wounded is the Future War Cult Scout Rifle from Rise of Iron. It's an interesting scout rifle. It's that mid-impact, mid-rate of fire archetype. With at first glance, it was a little bit forgettable. I walked up to the vendor, Rise of Iron launched. I looked at it, and I thought, man, you know, pretty good talents, pretty good perks on the vendor version. Can't doubt that that's a good scout rifle, but it just never stood out. I was never like, I gotta have it. That's really, really good. So. What I usually like to do in my videos is talk about the gun, go over PvE and PvP performance, and I'll give it kind of an arbitrary grade based on my experience, but we're going to do this one a little bit inverted. We're going to talk about PvP first, and then we'll talk about PvE because it had a different experience for me in how I got this gun, how I started using it, and how I started playing with it. So like I said, I was watching Macius Sean. He did a Crota's End video talking about the new stuff coming with Age of Triumph and things that have come out. It may have been a Destiny 2 video, but he was using this to do the bridge in Crota's End. And it was just an amazing, I was like, that gun looks good. So his role, he has full auto, outlaw, and firefly. So it's a fate bringer. It's a long range fate bringer. But mine has full auto, perfect balance firefly. And that's the reason I paid attention. I was like, mine's almost the same. And his looked amazing. So I was like, let me dig into mine. So I pulled it out, leveled it up, put it up to 400, and I took it into some activities. And I actually started out in PvP. So we'll read on the gun. We're doing this all out of order. I'm losing my mind right now, but the Wounded Scout Rifle, the marksman's weapon, named and sanctified by the Future War Cult's leaders. Like I said, it's mid-impact, mid-rate of fire, good range because it's a scout rifle, good stability out of the gate, and the reload speed is actually very fast. There's no reload perks here on mine, none active. So mine dropped with the red dot, the ranged lens, and the OEG rifle scope. I actually have just been leaving on this red dot. This is not my favorite red dot, but it works for me better than the range lens and the rifle scope. The range lens for PvE may be a little bit better, but I was using the red dot, and it seemed to be performing the best. I do have extended mag, but I'll leave it on full auto. Unflinching, but I'll leave it on perfect balance. And firefly, unflinching would be a little bit better for PvP for me, but solid gun, and it piqued my interest because of his Fatebringer role. But this one, not quite the Fatebringer, but the places where it counts. I was like, it has fast enough reload. I can get some gloves, and the Firefly is what I'm more concerned with for PvE, for clearing ads. So let's talk about PvP and PvE performance. We're going to do it backwards. We're going to talk about PvP because that's where I took it first to shoot it. So in PvP, it performed admirably. It performed like I expected, and I actually did really well with it. The full auto on a scout rifle for PvP for me is very nice. I prefer that on anything but the lowest rate of fire scout rifles. I like the full auto. It gives me a little bit more of an auto rifle feel. It takes a little bit of the thought out of scout rifling in PvP, and it makes it just work better for me. I do end up running through the mag on this one a little quick. The 15 round mag's a little small, so extended mag's kind of nice to have on it, but I like having for PvP. I like the full auto. It just works for me. So in PvP, I did really good with it actually, and it felt solid, it felt stable, good stability, decent range. I mean, it's a scout rifle, so it has good PvP range, and it was a good complement weapon. It didn't amaze me, but the performance was good. So it kind of does, in hindsight, speak volumes that it had good performance, and I didn't even think it did. So solid gun for PvP if you actually want a good scout rifle for PvP. For PvE, since we're taking it backwards, I took it into some missions, did some story with it. I had a little fun, kind of on a whim, just to see if I liked it. And for PvE, I really liked it. Up close, it's not any fun, but at that mid-range, the mid-range where hand cannons start to fall off, this gun, it picks up that slack, and it just works so nice. The firefly is good, the range is good, the tempo is good. It's right there with my Tuanella. If I could add full auto to my Tuanella that has firefly and triple tap, I would, but obviously you can't do that. It's not possible to get that many perks on the gun. It would be nice, but my Tuanella being the top scout rifle I've got for PvE, this Wounded it stole the show the other day for me. And what happened was I took it into PvP, then I took it into PvE, and then that night I decided not on a whim, but I decided that I was going to do the raid. I started Wrath of the Machine with a random group I found on LFG, and I didn't even have time to change my loadout, but because I loaded in, I was like, I guess I'll run with them. They sent me a message like, I'll run with them. And I loaded in. I was Striker Titan. I had PvP armor on. I was not ready, but this gun was active as my primary. I was like, okay, let's do this. I got all the way through Vosic with this gun before I had to drop out of the group. And it did amazing. The full auto doing the Vosic fight, clearing the ads with the Firefly was amazing. You're going to see a little bit of that right now. And it just cleared them like a champ. It was I keep saying amazing, but it worked perfectly. The full auto with Firefly to clear those huge roaming groups of ads that just spawn during that fight was so good. So if you need a good scout rifle, full auto wounded with Firefly is really, really good. And you could get it probably decently easy. Just level up Future War Cult, throw some motes at them, throw some materials at them, and have fun. And I actually, during the raid, getting back out of the gameplay footage and getting back to my character, during the raid, I got these gauntlets to drop. Now, these are the normal raid gauntlets. These aren't the hard raid gauntlets. But hey, they have a scout rifle loader, and I actually didn't have those gloves at all on me, on my Titan, and I got some from the raid. So we're going to go back in later. Maybe after Age of Triumph, and we're going to do it again, and I'm going to have the right gloves this time, and I'm going to have the right loadout. So that's my wounded. What gun have you had recently that's really surprised you? What gun have you had that's been interesting, kind of popped up out of nowhere, and you're like, wow, that's really good? So let me know in the comments. I'm interested to see. And what gun do you want me to take a look at? If you got any injections, let me know. I love injections. But until next time, leave a like if you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you want to see more. That plant is violating me. And I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, guys. See you, bye.